Welcome back to another episode of Woody's Roundup Podcast. Hey, Woody.
Hey, howdy, hey.
Yeah, that's the kind of intro.
You were going to make that sound engineer very upset when he's editing by.
Sorry.
Waving across the microphone like that. You know how he gets. You know he gets in his moods when he edits sound.
I think we should fire that guy anyway. He's not...
Yeah, you're right. He's out of here.
Yeah. Hey, have you had a good night?
It's a great night.
Yeah?
We watched episode of The Proud Family.
Mm-hmm.
And, gosh, I don't even know if we should bring this up.
Can I just do my Proud Family?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
I just scared the
That's
dog.
it. And now the audio peaked on that. So that sound engineer, he is out the door. He quit. We don't have to fire him.
Okay.
So
what were you saying? Oh, what we were doing right before
other thing,
this.
and there's another episode because I don't want to take up much time in this because we have something very awesome to cut away to.
Super excited.
But yeah, so we were attempting, and I'm not downing it, and this is for another episode, and I think we even have somebody coming on to talk about live action remakes, redos, but we, for the first time that I can remember, we actually just stopped watching a movie, a new Disney movie, and it was Aladdin, the new one.
I'm gonna tell you.
Maybe it's the night, maybe, I don't know, like something was up, and it was just like, I'm not feeling this. No. I missed the cartoon.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that in another one, I'm sure, but.
Yep, I am not gonna even get started on that.
I'm getting kind of upset thinking about it right now.
I stood up, you looked at me, you were like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm pretty much bored.
You're bored. He's like, I'm going to go upstairs and get ready for the podcast. It's like, okay. All right, here we go.
I know, you're like, you know, we're not, it's like another couple hours. I'm like, yep, got to prep.
Yep.
Got to prepare.
So yes, that's another episode though, right? Like
Oh yeah.
If what I heard in your show notes coming up.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So today's episode, really excited about it. Grayson Barber is our special guest. Grayson is all things Disney, but just an all-around great person, artist. We've talked about, lots of things on this podcast, but the one thing we hadn't really touched on yet, because I felt we didn't have an expert in it, was the Disney College program. And so I reached out to Grayson and was hoping that he would sort of get back with me and that we could set up a time. And sure enough, it all works out for today. So super excited about the interview. You'll hear us play a little game, and it's just a lot. It's gonna be a lot of fun for you guys. So, all right. So without further ado, here is my interview with the awesome Grayson Barber. So I am excited to talk about our guest today, Grayson Barber. We've been talking about him for a couple weeks now, actually, Woody and I, for you guys, and we're just so excited. Former cast member. So say hello to Grayson. Grayson, how are you?
I am doing great. I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Oh, we're doing awesome. So Woody's in the background, and I'm going to just take the reins here because I have a special place in my heart for Grayson. So first, I want to play a little game with you, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so the game is called This or That. So I'm going to give you two choices, and you tell me which one would you choose between this or that. So Space Mountain
All right.
or Splash Mountain?
Splash Mountain, definitely.
Okay. Haunted Mansion or Peter Pan?
Haunted Mansion.
Jungle Cruise or Ariel's Grotto?
Oh, man. I'm going to say Ariel's Grotto for this one.
Yes. Okay. Mine Train or Big Thunder?
Man, I got to think about that one. That one's hard. Mine Train.
Yes. Flight of Passage or Soarin'?
Oh, Flight of Passage.
Country Bear Jamboree or the Hall of Presidents?
Country Bear Jamboree.
Oh!
There we go.
Woody is celebrating in the background. Dole Whip or Mickey Pretzel for the win?
Dole Whip.
So really, honestly, that game has nothing to do with Woody or I, other than like half of them are Woody's favorite and half of them are my favorite. But it's seemingly you and I would have a better day at Disney than you and Woody. Cause okay. So let's just get a little bit of background on you. I first know you first and foremost as the most incredible artist that I've ever encountered. And you've been doing art forever. Yeah?
Yes, yes, I have. I've been drawing since I was very, very little.
And tell me a little bit about your style. Tell me a little bit about your approach to art.
So my passion really lies with animation and cartoons and comics. So I've always just gravitated more towards drawing, like kind of like in that style. I really, really, really love like the concept art that goes into the pre-production for animated movies and stuff. So I really like drawing like in the style of old Disney animators and yeah, like I guess I just gravitate more towards that than anything like painting or sculpting or anything.
Right. So remembering, and you guys are our audience who's listening, I was actually Grayson's teacher. And if anything, for what? I would even say a year. But in that year, Grayson taught me. Like Grayson taught me things that that I will cherish. And I think I loved the purity in your art. And I'm going to push again on my Instagram, on our Instagram, just for people to follow you. You've got tons of followers. Anyway, you don't certainly need me, but you guys, if you get a chance, check out his art, check out what he does. I mean, it is possibly one of the most incredible journeys that I've seen you be on, is going from, I mean, your early art is great too. This, I would say, later art is more digital driven, because I know you got into more learning about computers, learning more digital art, which in the school that you and I were at, it didn't offer that. So you kind of got bigger into the more computer digital side in college. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, for sure. I guess, yeah, in high school, I was just starting, really, I think I really started taking my art seriously when I was, 16, I think. And I had you my senior year of high school, so that was a couple years later. And I was really, when I had you as a teacher, I was really on the road, to bettering my art, in a traditional sense. So I did a lot of, pencil drawing. I think I was getting into inking and stuff like that. But yeah, when I went to college, I was a graphics design major for a few years, and then I switched over to studio art. But yeah, I really learned a lot of the software and stuff. And then I started getting my tablets to do digital art and everything. So I've been learning about that more so recently.
That's awesome. So let's stick with college. And so college basically was the door that opened you into the college internship program with Disney. So, and tell me a little bit, so how did you become a cast member? What kind of started that ball?
All right. So I think I had been first introduced to the idea, at least the first time that I can remember, when I was on a trip to Disney with my mom. And that's a whole nother story, but
we'll have you back. Don't worry. We'll have you back. We'll have your mom on too.
Yes, I have a lot of Disney stories, but I was down there with my mom on a trip, and I was talking to a guy who was working at one of the merchandise locations, and he was telling me that he was doing the Disney College program, and he was telling me a little bit about it, and I didn't really know too much. And then I kind of just heard more secondhand about it throughout the years of being in college. And then in 2017, my sister, who's 2 years younger than me, came to me, and she was like, I applied for the Disney College program and I got accepted. So I'm going to be going down there in the fall, and I'm going to be there for 6 months. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to let you go down to Disney and live at Disney for 6 months without me. So I just was like, I'm just going to apply too and see what happens. So I did, and I got in. So we went down there together, which was really fun.
So that was fall, you said, of 2017?
Yes,
awesome.
That was when it started, in August, I believe.
So you got your call, or I guess your proverbial call. You got your email, you got your letter. And so what was it like? I mean, what was it like just sort of packing up everything and knowing you were going to be in Orlando for 6 months? Tell me a little bit about the first couple days that you were down there, how you said to yourself, okay, I'm going to stick this thing out. And yeah, so tell me about that first part about being down there, the first couple days, being away from your family, but also being with your sister is a great thing. But yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah, it was unreal. Like, it was so exciting. It was easily probably one of the most exciting things that I've ever done in my life. Like, it was they make such a big deal out of it, so because like when you get accepted, they send you all this stuff in the mail, and they're like, here's how you prepare for your trip down there, and it's like it's pretty involved. And I just remember, like, I packed everything, and I was like, I packed up my whole bedroom basically, and my parents helped us move, so we like threw everything in all of our cars, and we like made the 12 or 13 hour drive down there. And we were rooming together at the time, so like we moved into one of the dorms on campus, and it was a lot, like it was a really busy couple of days when you first get down there, because it's like, you have orientation, you have like a bunch of classes, you like have to learn about the housing complexes and the bus systems, and like how you're going to get to like Disney University, because you have to do some classes there when you first start. And so it was a whirlwind, but it was so much fun. Like, it was so exciting, like going into like the casting building for the first time and being with like a bunch of other kids your own age who are all doing the same thing, and like just learning your way around. And it was amazing.
It sounds like something that I missed out on and wish I could do it again. Hey, do they accept 40-year-olds,
If you're in college, yeah.
Woohoo! Okay, I could probably re-enroll. I could do something. So tell me about your most magical memory while you were in, I would say, the cast member role. So tell me, what was one of your favorite things?
Oh man, there's so much. Like, I went down there initially for 6 months, and then I ended up extending my program. So I was down there for a full year, and I did 2 different roles while I was there. But like, one of those was when I was working in merchandise in the Emporium, and like, I had so many magical like moments down there. But one of the great things about being a cast member is that you can basically decide when you're going to make a magical moment for somebody. So like, I remember there was this one time I was there, and I think I was there pretty early in the morning, and there was this family that came in, and they had this little boy, and it was his birthday. And so I was one of the only people that was in their area at the time. So like, I was talking to them. I told him happy birthday. Oh. He had like one of those little buttons, and I asked him what his favorite character was, and I think he said Grumpy the Dwarf, which was pretty funny. But so I was like, okay. So I went over to like the little toy section, and we had this little like Snow White vinyl toy set. And one of the things that you can do as a merchandise cast member is you can write something called a no strings attached, which basically means you can give a guest merchandise free of charge. So like, I wrote him a little slip, and I brought it over to him, and I was like, happy birthday, here's your present from Mickey. And he was so excited.
Oh my
like,
gosh.
Yeah, getting to do things like that and seeing like kids and their parents like faces just like light up and get like so happy. It was just like, there's nothing that I can compare it to, honestly. It was amazing.
I love that. I love that. And I love what you said about how you as a cast member have a choice every day to make something magical happen. And I just think that is so why Woody and I love Disney, why I'm sure you and your family love Disney, and why you extended your stay. It's just,
oh yeah,
it's just awesome. So what would you say, if anything, that you learned? So one of the things that sort of, when you're down there and were you impacted in any way? Did it change you as a person?
Oh yeah. And it's, that's a hard question too, because like, I feel like I learned many different things that are like completely unrelated to one another. It was just like, the experience brought like so many different aspects of, like opportunity for growth and stuff. But I would say one of the biggest things was just like the realization that like, you can literally like make whatever you want to, like, of yourself. Like, I met so many different people down there who, like, I mean, most of the cast members I feel at Disney are like started out in the college program, and like, you know, I had a lot of them who were in leadership positions above me. Like, so like a lot of my coordinators and my leaders and the managers and everything, like a lot of them started out as CPs. And so like, it was just like really cool to see like how they had like grown from literally where I was in, like in the moment when I was there. Like they were in the exact same position, and then they just stayed down there, and they loved it so much that they like grew and furthered their careers. And like there's so many cool opportunities to do that down there. So like I got to talk with like a bunch of them about like getting into different areas, and it's like it's, you know, fairly attainable to move up and move around in your position in Disney World. So like it was just really fun to like see, like to just really be down there and realize that like, oh hey, like I could absolutely like do this if I wanted to. So it was just like the realization that like, you know, you could literally start out as a janitor, and then one day you could be like over a huge team of people if you keep working hard.
And I think that kind of plays into my next question. And that would be like what advice you would give for someone who wants to work for Disney. I love that you already pretty much said, you know, that you can start out as a street sweeper and then work your way up to, you know, Bob Iger. But so do you have like a nugget of advice for somebody who is listening to this podcast and they say, you know, I'd like to be where he's at. I'd like to be, you know, in that path. What would you give to somebody?
Well, I mean, the number one thing is just to be like a hard worker. Like the thing at Disney is like, if they see that you are dedicated to your role and that you go above and beyond, and you're like you just are willing to put in the work, and work hard and make magic for people, then like they'll recognize that, and they will help you, like move up. And they just really like genuine people who just have a passion for Disney and who have a passion for hard work as well. Like the college program, like that's the only, as far as like applying and getting the job in the first place, that's the only experience that I have. So I don't know really what it looks like to apply outside of the college program, I guess. But you know, like they hire thousands of people. So like, it's, I feel like getting the job in the first place isn't like, it's not like as hard as probably a lot of people would think. But yeah, like when I was down there too, like I really was like, especially when I was in my merchandise role, I did a lot of the stocking. And so like, I was just very like, like, dedicated to making sure that like my section of the store like looked as good as it could at all times. And my leaders like would see that, and like I had to leave in July of 2018. That's when the cutoff was for me. But and then I had to come back to school. But like one of my leaders like came to me one day and was like saying like, oh, how much longer are you here for? Like, and so I told her I was only there for like another month, and she was like, oh man. And I was like, why? And she's like, well, because you're just like such a hard worker and you do your job really well, and I like wanted to like see about making you a trainer, and that's like the next step up. And once you're a trainer, then you can move up from there. So I would have loved to have the opportunity to do that, but unfortunately, like where I was in life, I couldn't stay. But yeah, like they'll recognize your work ethic if it's there.
So you said you always tried and strived to make your section look the best. What do you think that comes from? Because honestly, I'll be honest, I see this because years after you graduated and then, you know, more and more high school kids sort of piled in, it felt like that work ethic isn't there. Is that because something you are different, or do you think it's just because when you're down there, Disney does something to your heart, your joy? What do you think that came from?
Well, I would say it differs from person to person, because like a lot of college program kids kind of just go down there just to like have a good time, and they don't really like care about the job aspect of it so much. And like I was aware that was an attitude that a lot of kids like have going into it, and I didn't really want to do that. Like I've just always kind of naturally been like a hard worker. I don't like being seen as somebody who doesn't do their job.
Yeah.
But I think for me anyway, it was a combination of both probably. I took a lot of pride in what I did because I really I love Disney and I want everybody to have a good experience when they go there. And that was the task that I was assigned at the time. So I was like, I'm going to do this really well because for one, I naturally just have a inclination to clean things, but
really,
I don't well, it bothers me when things are messy, and I didn't like it when the store looked messy because it just looked bad. But I was also a housekeeper when I was down there. So,
that's right.
Yeah, but also I really like to work hard basically. And I wanted to stand out because a lot of the other stalkers didn't do as good a job as I did, and I just took a lot of pride in making that my section of the store look really good because I wanted to stand out.
And you stand out, bottom line, you always have. But so what was it like? What was it like waking up in Disney every day? Did you ever get sick of it?
No, never ever.
I was waiting for that question because I surprised you with that one. But I was going to say, did you ever just not want to go to work?
Oh, well, yeah. There were some days where I knew I had a really long shift coming up and I was tired. And when you're down there, you don't really you don't always want to work because you're oh, if I'm going to the parks, I wish I was just going to have fun and to play. But it was never I don't ever remember it being unbearably awful or anything like that.
That's good. That's good.
There were a couple days where I was just oh man, I don't want to work today. But it's always it always got better when I got there and I was in that environment. It was a big motivator for sure.
So what would you say, in your opinion, would be your 3 must-do things to, if somebody's listening to this, first timers, which we have a lot of people that listen to this podcast that haven't been to Disney or planning on going to Disney, what are your 3 must-dos? And let's just stick to Magic Kingdom because we could talk all night.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. So for me, one of the biggest things personally that I would say is a must-do in Magic Kingdom is to see the shows. Maybe not all of them because they have a lot of them, but if you can just grab even if you're not a show person, just find something that's going on and just watch a show. I love the Friendship Fair that they do in front of the castle, and they do that one several times a day. So that one's, and it usually doesn't have a huge crowd, so it's really easy to just kind of pop in and even watch just a little bit of it. But I love the productions that they do, and the Festival of Fantasy parade that they have at 3:00 every day. And then they have a little Muppet show in Liberty Square. That's really cute. I don't know. For me, the shows are a big thing because I feel like that's a big part of the Disney experience because there's just so much that goes into the production of those things. But another thing I would say I feel like this is kind of unconventional, but I love all of the details in the park. And there are so many of them, and I feel like it can really enhance your experience if you just take a little bit of time to pay attention to your surroundings and look at the details in the park. There are so many things, things that I don't even know about, and I've lived there for a year. But if you're walking down Main Street, there's a little window up in one of the shops that says voice lessons, I think, on the side of the building, and you can hear singing if you pay attention. And yeah,
that's so awesome.
Yeah, just little things like that I love. It's one of my favorite parts of Disney. So if you're gonna get the most out of it, I would say take a little bit of time to look around and just pay attention to the little details that are around you.
That is great.
And
I love that one.
Thanks. And then the third one is food. Definitely.
Yes.
I get it if you're on a budget and you can't pay for every single meal in the parks because it is expensive, but I would definitely prioritize getting at least a little bit of food because there's nothing like Disney food. I still right. I have some days still where I'm oh man, I really wish I could just go to Magic Kingdom and go to the Friar's Nook and get those tater tots with buffalo chicken on them or something.
What?
Like
That is something
They have-
new. Woody, we have never done that.
yeah, that's pretty new. I think they used to have mac and cheese there. I think which was delicious, but then they changed it to tater tots.
Hey,
which are
don't
also
think I'm not
delicious.
writing this down the whole time. Like, I'm taking notes. As you're talking, like, I'm just writing stuff down.
Oh man, I can talk forever about that kind of stuff.
Hey, we'll have you back. We'll have you back. So this is gonna be a crazy one. This is gonna be a crazy one. I'm
Okay.
gonna ask you, and I don't even know how you're gonna answer it, but I'm excited. So, who's your favorite Disney character?
Okay, so like, it's kind of a hard question because I have a lot of favorites, but I definitely have one that I would say is my top favorite, which is kind of unconventional, but my favorite Disney character is Tadashi Hamada from Big Hero 6.
You know what? By you saying that, and this is just one of those things that I love about you, is that you didn't pick anything like goofy. You didn't pick. You pick somebody that seriously. So okay, so talk to me a little bit about it. Why? Why is your favorite?
I don't like. I feel like this is just very like something very unique to me, but like I just love him because like he is just like a solid dude.
Yeah.
Like he's a great big brother in the movie. Like he has a really hard work ethic. Like he's very dedicated to what he's passionate about, and he's very selfless, obviously. And those are qualities that I just really admire in people in general. So like when I saw the movie and I saw like him in the movie, I was like, wow, I really like this character a lot. Like he was just very well written to me. So yeah, he just has a lot of qualities in a person that I liked, I guess.
Definitely. So, as we wrap this up, because again, I know we could talk all night, just you and me really, but just wanted to say thank you so much for taking your time to chat with us just quickly about the Disney College program. Love getting to chat with you anytime is awesome. But so one last question. And then we can let you get back to what you're doing. What do you miss most about working there? What do you miss most about being there every day?
As cliche and generic as it sounds, like I just miss the Disney magic and being surrounded by it every day. Like I miss working in the gift shop and hearing the fireworks show every night and singing along with my coworkers. Like we used to do that all the time. And I guess kind of along with that, I miss being able to just like grab some friends on my day off and be like, hey, let's hop over to Epcot to get some food or something. Like, but more than anything, I just really miss like the magic that the environment just intrinsically has infused in it. Like there's nothing else like it, honestly.
Grayson, thank you so much for being on our show. We're definitely going to have you back. Would you be up for basically being a regular on our podcast?
Oh, absolutely.
Yay.
I could talk Disney all day.
Awesome. All right. Well, you're booked. And so I just want to thank you. I appreciate you taking the time. And we're going to have you back. So have a great night. Say hello to your family. And I appreciate you so much.
Oh, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me on.